Well, welcome to another IC82 video, and this one is quite special. It's the Flying Scotsman. There we go. This package arrived for me just before I went to Berlin, actually. And so you can understand how frustrating that was. Literally hours before the taxi turned up to take me to the station, to take me to the airport. A guy knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we've got a train." Thanks. I can't do anything with it for 2 weeks. But here she is. She's the Flying Scotsman. Oh, what's this? Some little piece of paper. Returns advice. Well, hopefully I don't need to return it, so I can put that back in there. And oh, look, there's this fake sort of like polystyrene what's it stuff. I love that. That's so much fun. Okay, so putting that to one side for later. Here is the Flying Scotsman. Now, I've been asked by exactly 2.3 million people, no exaggeration, to review the Flying Scotsman, and every time my answer has been, look, seriously, really, people? Does the internet, does YouTube need another video on the Flying Scotsman? Because this is about the 14th billionth video on the Flying Scotsman. But everybody said, well, we'd really love it if you did do one. So I thought, I could always sell it on and, you know, what have you, because it's LNER, isn't it? And I don't really run LNER locomotives because it's not the area that my layout is modelled on. However, I have got some and I do them. I do like them, such as the Thompson and the B12. So they do come in occasionally, but with the Flying Scotsman just being so popular, I basically just avoided it for ages and ages and ages. And then I went to Railfest in 2012 and I saw her there in wartime black. They basically made her exactly like this for Railfest. I don't know if it's a well, obviously I think it's just a temporary thing. Now this wartime black livery, if you like, really does divide people, and I wish it wouldn't. It's ever so silly because, you know, she's been in apple green or whatever it is for an awful long time, and that's the image that we're all used to. I think it was a refreshing change actually to see her in this livery, and I thought that it looked incredibly smart. Really, really smart. I liked the smoke deflectors, which she did carry. She did carry them back in the 50s and 60s. She didn't have them on all the time, but she did have them for a period. So I liked the smoke deflectors, and I thought the black, because it was also a matte black, you see, it wasn't glossy, it wasn't shiny, it was matte, and I just thought it was so striking, so smart. I thought, wow, is that the same locomotive? Is that the Flying Scotsman? It doesn't look anything like the Flying Scotsman. So I was just wowed basically by how amazing the locomotive looked. Apologies if you can hear lots of background noise. It's probably the windiest day the British Isles has ever faced, but I'm going to proceed, I'm going to continue. So I thought, I've got to get it, I've got to get a model of this, it's just amazing. And I couldn't, because I was buying the Midland compound at the time, and I was also buying something else the same month, so I basically spent over £300 that month on trains, and I just couldn't afford it. I couldn't justify it, really. It's not a matter of affording it, it's a matter of just how much money do you want to keep spending on trains. I hit my limit for that month, basically. So I couldn't get it. And then I had to get other locomotives and other train sets, and I had to buy a new car, and basically I just never did it. I never got round to getting it. And then it disappeared. You couldn't get it on the NRM website anymore. But not to worry, because look, I have one, it's here. Hornby reissued it. They did it again. Obviously, once you've built the tooling for a model like this, churning out more isn't actually that too hard to do. So they did. I don't think there's any NRM stuff on it, unlike the last one, the limited edition one, but it's essentially the same locomotive. I mean, I have looked and looked and researched, and I cannot find anything different between this locomotive and the one that was on sale at the NRM nearly 2 years ago. I can't find any difference at all. It's just the packaging. There's just this packaging doesn't say NRM anywhere, and I don't think it says NRM here. I think the other one does say NRM. That's it. The code is slightly different, obviously, because it's a slightly different model, but the model itself is the same. So, there we have it. I've got one. I've got the Flying Scotsman. I always told myself that if I was going to buy a Flying Scotsman, it would be a special one. And this is special to me. I just think it's fantastic. The chances of me selling it on are incredibly slim because I just think it's so striking, so good looking. I will probably want to keep hold of it. If she's a good runner, obviously, if she's a good model, I definitely want to hold on to it. There is an absolute mass of history and information about the Flying Scotsman. I'm not going to go into all of it because this channel focuses on the models, and the model is what we're here to look at. But I will tell you that the Flying Scotsman is also the name of a train service, and in fact, it's the service that came first. There was a service from London right up to Edinburgh, I think, in Scotland, that was called the Flying Scotsman, and it was ran by multiple locomotives actually. But this in 1920, was it 1923, 1924? It was sometime in the 1920s when this was built by the Doncaster Works to a Gresley design, because it's a gorgeous A3 locomotive. It ran the service so well, and it did such a fantastic job, and it set records that this was named the Flying Scotsman after the route that it ran on. I'm pretty sure I've got that right, and I'm pretty sure if I've got it wrong, people will correct me. But I'm pretty sure that that's the story behind it. And it did set records. It was the first to officially breach the 100 miles per hour speed limit, I think. I know there's the whole thing about the city of Truro breaking it, but it's not official. It can't be confirmed. I mean, when you look at the facts and stuff, it does seem like the city of Truro did do it, but it wasn't an official capacity. In fact, the people doing it were breaking the law or whatever to do that. They shouldn't have been doing it, but they did. Well, we think they did. Anyway, so this did it officially. So whether you want to say it's the second to break the limit or the first, it doesn't matter. It was fast, okay? And I think in the 80s, the very late 80s, it also was the first locomotive to run non-stop 400 and something miles all the way from London right up to Scotland, non-stop. No water, no coal, not even swinging by a petrol station for a butty. Nothing. Absolutely amazing. So she is one incredible locomotive. She has lots and lots of fans all around the world, and it's probably the most famous locomotive in the world. It's a toss-up, isn't it, between this one and Mallard. Equally just as famous. Both very fast, very famous locomotives. So, there we have it. The Flying Scotsman. It's an electric locomotive. Thanks, Hornby, for telling us that. We know that. The real thing definitely isn't, but this model is. Maybe they put that on just in case we get confused and think that the real thing isn't here. I don't know. Right, so there's only one thing for it then. I'm going to have to open this box up and have a look. Okay, well, it's the typical Hornby packaging in that just slide the sleeve off and that's it. Not too hard, actually. I don't know what kind of packaging they've got inside here, whether it's the block of ice stuff or what, but I doubt it. It's probably it's the split. It's the split chassis polystyrene packaging. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I quite like that packaging, actually. So that's not a problem. So if we just take that out as well. I did have a very quick look at it before I went to Germany just to check that she was okay and stuff, and she did seem fine. I think this is about as far as I got, actually. In fact, what's that stuff falling off? Is it the braking rods, the braking mechanism that goes under the braking apparatus that's strung underneath the bottom of the locomotive. So basically, all the wheels apply the brakes at the same time. That's what that is. That's fine. I don't mind putting that on. I don't mind putting that on at all. And I suppose if they put it on, then it would make the model £5 more, because they'd have to pay some guy in China to do that for us, or a woman. I don't know. So let's take off these little ends and have a look at what else they've given us. Oh, a wheel, right? Is this to do with the radius of curves? It usually is. I don't usually do this, but I'm just going to have a look at it right now. I usually do this off camera, out of shot, in between filming, in between shoots. But I'm going to have a quick look at it now for you folks. I'm pretty sure it's to do with the curves. Oh, that's something to do with accessories, right? We've got some detail as well, have we? Yeah, definitely. Look, basically the same. You can take the flat wheels off and put the proper wheels on with a flange, the flanged wheels. So if it's got flat wheels, then that will be to do with the radius of curves it can go around. Basically, putting these on is going to limit you to really, really gentle curves. Such as third radius, fourth radius, and higher. But I suppose with the flat wheels, because there's no flange, then you can probably run it around second and maybe even first. I wouldn't, I wouldn't do that, but you probably can. So that's what that's about. I thought so. I just wanted to check. Okay, so we take off this front. Oh, that's something else. Gosh, what is this? Looks like a DCC chip. No. Oh, it's the smoke deflectors. Wow. Wow, I have never ever come across a bag of smoke deflectors before. But they are definitely the smoke deflectors. Look, you can see the rivets and the like little sign and everything. Right, okay, fair enough. The one thing I was going to say, the one thing I haven't opened yet is the instructions actually. I haven't come across any. Here we go. Class A1 and A3. I think these are the first instructions of this type I've got to go in my little folder. Steam locomotive and tender. DCC ready, DCC fitted, unsound. Well, I've just got a DCC ready one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, DCC ready. That's good. So it'll be easy to just drop a chip in. Body removal. Lubrication, where to apply the oil. Nice, DCC ready. See, that's where the chip goes. And the tender, of course. I mean, there's just so much room in the tender. That's probably where the sound can go as well if you want to. Assembly. Oh, right. Putting it together, you have to run a little wire into the... Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Coal removal and replacement. Now, that's nice. I always love it when they do that. You can take out the really cheap, nasty fake coal and you can put in some dead realistic stuff and make it look dead good. That's good. Well done, Hornby. Well done. That's nice of you to do that. To be honest, they don't do it enough. And it's not just Hornby, Batman are guilty of it too sometimes. They should do it all the time, if you ask me. It's not hard to do. Right, so we take the top off, that's it. No, it's not. I've got to get it out of shot. That's just the way I am. So let's carefully lift the locomotive out of its packaging. Oh gosh, quite tight. And I see it's got like some sort of bolt, some sort of piece of metal hanging out the bottom of it. That's clearly been stuck in there for security, for transportation, I suppose, to stop it rattling around and stuff. Those seas between China and Britain can get pretty rough. I should probably take those out before continuing the review, shouldn't I? Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm just gonna have... You'll have to bear with me a second. Look at that. Oh, she's beautiful. Right, okay, what type of screwdriver do we need for that then? It's just a Phillips one, a little crosshead screwdriver. Okay, I'll go get one of those, take those little brackets out. I didn't put it down. I'll also return with a little pillow. And I will see you in a second. Okay, I'm back, and the little securing brackets that were in the bottom are gone. They've been taken out. It was really simple, just a case of taking those two screws out, whip the brackets, well the brackets fall off to be honest, and then put the screws back in. I did check the instructions, there's nothing that says you shouldn't put the screws back in, and there's nothing that says you should, so I'm sure that it's not a problem. And, well, would you just look at that? Look at this locomotive. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Stunning, isn't it? And I love the paintwork. It is this gorgeous matte black finish. It's absolutely, it's exquisite. Look, Flying Scotsman. I still can't believe that I've actually got a Flying Scotsman in the IC82 collection. There we go. It's happened. People said it wouldn't happen. I said it wouldn't happen, but it has. Here she is. I will put the smoke deflectors on. It's great that they've given you them as a choice. So if you want to, you can, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I will be putting the smoke deflectors on. I shall do that later. Let's spin it around to the back. We've even got some cab detail in this model, ladies and gentlemen. We've even got little dials and pressure gauges and everything. It's really nice. This is a quality model. I mean, we've seen better cabs than that, but come on, let's not be too picky. That is good. For how much time you're going to spend seeing it, that is good. That is really good. I'm very, very happy with that. I love the design here. This part of the body that's got the firebox in, I just love that. It's just so grizzly, isn't it? It's just brilliant. Okay, so what have we got? Well, we've got little rivets all over the place, which is just beautiful. There's a gorgeous metal handrail running down the side of the boiler. Well, both sides of the boiler, just there. The buffers, are they going to be sprung? Come on. Of course they're sprung. Look at that. Beautiful. I get a lot of people asking, well, what's the point in sprung buffers? Well, I don't know, to be honest. I guess it's just realistic when they couple up to coaches, or they pull into some buffers and stuff, and they just, when they come to like some stops, a buffer stop, and they just go in slightly. It's just realistic. It's just a nice little touch, isn't it? I suppose it doesn't matter really, but then if they didn't do that, you'd only have people moaning that it's not realistic. They can't win, really, can they? If they didn't go in, people would moan that it's not realistic, and because they do, people moan that you don't need them. Oh, I tell you, people are a hard lot to please. Trust me, I definitely know. So here we have the front set of wheels, the front truck, the front pony or bogie. And then right at the back we've got another, and this is where you've got the flat wheels. Look at that. So basically with the screwdriver, the same one I used earlier, I can take that plate off there, and I can take this pair of flat wheels out and put in the proper flange wheels. I am going to do that. I definitely am going to do that. I mean, the track I have in the conservatory here, the layout I use for testing, is 4th and 3rd radius. The one upstairs, the proper one, doesn't even come into it. It's so gentle. But I'm going to put that on as soon as I can, and then she can run on any layout really, really nice and happily, and looking dead realistic. So here you have the bar which connects to the tender, and then there we've got the little plug which plugs into the tender as well for your DCC chip and your sound and whatever else you've got. It is mesmerising. I don't get how people can buy just diesel locomotives or just electric locomotives. I mean, sure, they're fine, they're dead nice, but they don't have that. They don't have that at all. They're just boxes, basically, that roll along tracks, which is fine. As I say, some of them are really, really nice, but I love to see all that moving at speed. I really do. I personally, I really enjoy that. That's what it is. That's what does it for steam locomotives. That's what I'm so happy when I love it when she's on the proper layout, and when any locomotive's on the proper layout, and of course it's at waist height, so you can kneel down and you can just watch that roar right past you, and yeah, absolutely mesmerising. I'm not too sure what all these little bits of detail are around the front of the smoke box there. I don't know what they are. If you could tell me, please do let me know. I haven't a clue what they are. You see them there, those little orange things. I really don't know what they are. We've got some lamp hooks on the front, and plenty down the front here as well. Obviously, so you can denote what type of express train she is, or passenger freight, whatever. Freight, I don't think so. So I'm just going to put that over there, and then I'm going to have a quick look at the tender, which I expect will be just as smart, and it is. It's a little bit dusty though, so I'm just going to get my brush and give it a quick clean. Okay, I'm back, and let's just give it a quick brush to get rid of any of the dust and rubbish that was in and amongst the packaging. There we go. Well, as you can imagine, it's absolutely beautiful. Again, there's provision on the bottom there for brake rods. Oh no, hang on. They're in place. I'm pretty sure it's these. I'm pretty sure it's just the locomotive that... Yeah, I'm right. It's just the locomotive that needs the brake rods applying. The ones for the tender do seem to be... They seem to be there. They seem to be on already. Come on, focus. There we go. So, again, we've got sprung buffers. It's, well, a corridor tender. Is it? Yeah, it definitely is. Look, it's a corridor tender. They weren't lying. The coal is removable. I can feel how loose that is. I'm not going to take it out just yet, though. Nice. Really nice. NEM couplings as well. So you've got a dovetail connector, and then a little NEM pocket, and a really, really small tension lock coupler in the back. Fantastic. And you've even got like a little window in the top of the tender there. And metal rails around the top. It's still got a little bit of dust in there. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What's she look like when I just connect the tender up into this bar here? Wow. Look at that. It's really, really hard to hold this, by the way, without any track to help. But that is magnificent. The Flying Scotsman. No smoke deflectors yet. I'll do that in a second, and I'll plug in the little DCC plug in a bit. Gorgeous. I mean, I'm not an expert on the Flying Scotsman. I can't pick out any problems or flaws or discrepancies, anything that's wrong or inaccurate. I can't do that. But to my eyes, she looks absolutely stunning. It's a quality model. It seriously is. It's really heavy as well. This especially is really heavy. It's fantastic to know that that's where the motor is. That's where all the driving is coming from. That's where the driving should be coming from. So, I think the only thing left to do is to put it on the track and give her a run. Okay, well people, we've hit our first snag actually. Here's the Flying Scotsman, and as you can see, she has no smoke deflectors. I haven't put the smoke deflectors on because they're really hard to put on. In fact, they're almost impossible. Basically, this is them, so that's the wrong one for this side. There we go, that's the right one for this side. You'll see that on the back, there's just these 4 pins, and that's it. But there's nowhere for those pins to go. It's not like there's 4 little holes in the side of the tender or anything, in the side of the boiler or anything. And I suppose there can't be, because if there were, then for people that don't want the smoke deflectors, it would look odd. But there's no way of just easily and quickly and nicely attaching those on. It's going to be quite hard to do, really fiddly. I'm going to have to lie it down in CrewWorks and put them on really carefully, either using tacky wax or glue or something. But there's nothing in the instructions either. In fact, if I just lean over and I grab them, here we go. So just having a quick look through, see you've just got a thing on lubrication, you've got something on body removal, you've got something on the coupling, something on how to put the chip in, something on how to do the coal. You basically haven't got anything anywhere that tells you how to put them on. Seriously, I can't see anything anywhere that tells you how to carefully put the smoke deflectors on. Nothing, no mention of the smoke deflectors at all. Nowhere. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption. Typical. But right, yeah, so it's really nice to include the smoke deflectors in this way, and that basically you can keep them off. You can leave them off if you want to, but if you want to put them on, it's going to be really hard. Really, really tricky, especially without no instructions at all. There's no guide, there's no instructions, no mentioning, nothing. You're totally left to your own devices, which isn't very good. It's going to have to be marked down a little bit for that. That's not very good. Come on, Hornby, what are you playing at? You could at least include something that says, oh yeah, by the way, The smoke deflectors are really, really, really fragile. Be dead careful with them, and the best way to apply them is this. But no, nothing at all. So I'm going to get the tender connected again, because I already connected it before I realised the whole problem with the smoke deflectors. So I'm going to get it connected again, put it on the track, and this time we'll have to just run her without the smoke deflectors. I'll have to do that in a later video maybe once I've got some rolling stock for her or something. But yeah, let's get that tender put on. Okay, welcome back. I'm just going to take the smoke deflectors out of the way. We'll have to do those later. She's on. The tender is connected and it's plugged in. Not that that really makes much difference whilst there's no chip there, but it's all there ready to go, so that's good. And oh yeah, it is just a fantastic model. I didn't even notice it before, but you've got like little footsteps here as well for getting up onto the front of the locomotive there to reach the smoke box and stuff. Absolutely beautiful, really is exquisite. Let's see if we can get her to do a little bit of a wiggle and see if she moves and works. Oh yes, she does. She does. She moves all right. Of course, she's brand new. She's going to need running in. Right. Okay, well, let's set her going off in this direction then and run her in. And there she goes. Look at that. What a beautiful locomotive. And this is brand new, folks. She has never ran before. Considering she's never run before at all, ever, she's really smooth. That is beautiful. Wow, what is there to say? Apart from that, she's fantastic. She really is genuinely running like a dream. I'm going to have to let her complete her running in though, before I can take her up to see what sort of speed she can do. I'm going to have to just run her in. So I'm going to continue moving locomotives and stock up to the proper layout, as you can see. And in the meantime, I'm going to let her go for another 30 minutes or so in this direction. Then I'm going to reverse the direction. And then we'll return and see just how well she performs truly. You know, just what sort of speeds we can get her up to and see what her slow speed performance is like. Even though she's DC, I'm really keen to see what sort of slow speed performance she can do. So, I will see you shortly. Okay folks, well we're back. As you can see, all that space has been cleared. Most of the rolling stock and trains have gone upstairs now. And how is our lady, the Flying Scotsman, doing? Well, she is brilliant. Seriously, she's completely ran in. She's spent about 35 minutes going in each direction, and she just runs beautifully. I've not properly tested the slow speed performance yet, so let's just have a look at that now. Ooh, that's pretty good, considering there's hardly any power there at all. And if I just change direction and get her coming this way. Ooh. Slow right down. I mean, just look people, there's barely anything there at all. Look, that's really good, considering she's only just finished running in. Ooh. Yeah, that is beautiful. It's a quality mechanism, that's for sure. The mechanism inside this Flying Scotsman is fantastic. Really, really heavy and really strong. She's even handled the killer, the famous killer express points. That's how good she is. Wow. Okay, so her slow speed performance is really impressive. What about her high speed performance? Well, I think you'll agree, it's pretty impressive too. In fact, it's so fast, it's really hard to keep up with her. If we just bring her down to something a little bit more realistic, that maybe, that's about 70 miles an hour. No, it's probably about 50 or 60 looking at it. But the other speed we had was about 180 or something stupid. Okay, so at all speeds she's impressive, whether it's slow speed or high speed. Let me just bring her to a stop. Gosh, whew, she takes quite a while to stop actually. And then just get her to back up again. Well, the only thing I haven't tested really is haulage capability. The test of her strength, basically, and I don't have any LNER coaches. There we go, let's just zoom over to the massive vertical coach storage solution. No, it's basically pretty LNER thin, to be honest. It's pretty much all LMS, GWR, Mark IIIs, Intercities, Caledonian Sleepers. No LNER stuff at all. But what I do have are some Pullman coaches. Yes, I have quite a few Pullman coaches. So I could maybe whack some of those on and get some really cool shots of her pulling those. But seriously people, I don't think you're going to need to worry about the haulage capability of this model. I mean, just look at it. You saw the performance. I'm pretty sure it can handle any length of train you want to throw at it, basically. So I'm going to get those Pullman coaches put on the track and then show you a few more shots. Okay, and we're back. I had to roll the Flying Scotsman forward a little bit just so that we can fit on all these coaches, basically. Those are all the Pullman coaches I've got, and I know that they're not premium ones, they're just the bog standard railroad Hornby ones, but they're all I have, and at least they give us a little test of her haulage capability, and we'll get to see what the train looks like pulling a train. Yeah, so two different types, as you can see. I think those came with the oh gosh, what was it called now? It's the one that came with Cadbury Castle, the Western something. It's a GWR locomotive anyway, and it came with, yeah, I think it was called the Western Pullman. Anyway, those are for the peasants at the back, and then we've got Premier Dining up here with these three Pullman coaches that came in another set. Really can't think which, the Canada, yeah that's it, the Canada. So, right, let's get the Flying Scotsman to back up onto them. Nice and slowly, oh too slow. There we go. Right, take it away, Flying Scotsman. Yeah, piece of cake. Not even trying. Just let her build up speed, gradually.